Good morning. It's 10 a.m. Tuesday, September 10th, and I want to welcome everybody here and anybody viewing to the Calcasieu Parish public briefing for Tropical Storm Francine. My name is Brian Beam. I'm Parish Administrator here in Calcasieu. Yesterday, the briefing was about 20 minutes long. Something tells me this one will be shorter, and that's good news because we've learned some good information. Let's get right into it today. As we always do, we want to start with a weather report, and we have with us again today Roger Erickson from the National Weather Service here in Lake Charles, and I'd ask him to come up and give us the latest on Tropical Storm Francine.
Okay, thanks, Brian. So the update for Francine, the environment where it's been located for the past 12 hours has been unfavorable for it to develop into a hurricane so far. It's had a lot of dry air wrapped around it, so it's still below hurricane force, but we still expect it to become a hurricane at some point today as it starts moving to the north and northeast. The latest forecast track is on the map here that you see behind us, and the track has been shifting further to the east from us. You notice the error cone is not now in the Calcasieu Parish region, and because of that, all of the weather effects that we were advertising are being diminished now. Rainfall total is more like a 1 to 2 inch rainfall for southwest Louisiana as opposed to the numbers that we were advertising yesterday. The only threat that we're still really concerned with is going to be the storm surge for people down along the coast, because as the storm is offshore later tonight, the winds will be blowing out of the east, and an easterly wind along the coast actually builds the tides up. So we're still looking at 2 to 4 foot storm surge along the immediate coast. So for people down in Lower Cameron Parish, that's still going to be an issue, even though the winds won't be a big deal up here in Lake Charles. So that's the good news with the forecast. We'll be monitoring it through the day today, and hopefully this thing will stay on the current forecast track and be well to our east by tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, which is the timefall when we're expecting the landfall, somewhere between New Iberia and Morgan City now as a Category 1 hurricane. So that's all I've got for you guys, unless you have a question for me. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. Thank you. All right, Roger, thank you. That is, of course, good news for us. Obviously, the folks to our east are preparing, and we know how these things go. It could always change, but they feel very confident about this track. So where does that place us? We want to, you finish this through until it has passed us. And for that, I'd like to ask our Emergency Preparedness Director, Jared Mays, to come on up and update us on the latest actions y'all have been involved with based on the latest forecast.
All right, good morning. I'm Jared Mays. We'll continue a partial EOC operation, or Emergency Operations Center, open throughout the rest of the next 24 hours. Continue to maintain continuous monitoring of storm characteristics. We're still going through the whole process. The way we look at it, we want to go from start to finish. At a minimum, it'll be a training exercise for us at public agencies as we respond to this. We'll still maintain communications, continue coordination of post-storm operations with all emergency functions. And then I'd like to also reiterate that we'd like to remain cautious for mobile homes and anybody in the low-lying areas or possible flood. We could still have flood conditions, and maintain situational awareness and seek safe refuge if needed. Does anybody got any questions of me?
I noticed you started walking away and then said, anybody got any questions? Jared prepares, y'all. He prepares well, and he'll take any questions, I promise you. One other thing, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, however, while we're here, I want to remind everybody that once the threat is gone to our parish and our area, our emergency officials, which would include our OEP, but also several of the agencies here today, police and fire and others, are available through mutual aid to other parishes in the state. And it, depending on the needs, we turn our attention to them like we always do. Not quite there yet, but I just want to make a plug for that because this area of the state has been good at that, and they've been good when we needed the help too. At this time, I want to hear from two of our elected officials. The first will be Police Jury President Anthony Barty, and he does have an announcement related to this particular event.
Thank you, Brian. I'm just going to read a brief prepared statement that came out of our executive policy group this morning. Over the last 48 hours, cities and the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury have been working with multiple nonprofits to provide temporary shelter for those who may need it throughout the duration of Francine. SC3 will open today at noon through Thursday at 501 East Burton Street in Sulphur, Louisiana, welcoming men and women. The Salvation Army at 3020 Legion Street in Lake Charles is welcoming men. Anyone needing transportation to one of those locations or assistance with temporary shelter during Francine should dial 211. Again, anyone needing transportation to any one of those shelters should dial 211. Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate that, Anthony. At this time, I'll ask Sheriff Gilroy to come up on status from law enforcement efforts.
Thank you, Brian. I've been in touch with all the area police chiefs. I can tell you we're going to work very closely with our police chiefs in our surrounding area. At this point, this is good news for us, bad news for somebody else. But I can tell you I've been in touch with the other sheriffs that are facing this disaster. I've offered any help that they may need from our sheriff's office. You know, I think back to Rita and Laura when those storms hit us. We had sheriff's offices come in from all over the state to assist us, and that's a great thing. It's nice that, you know, we're able to reach out to them and offer our assistance to them, as Brian said earlier. We're going to have some extra patrols out, patrolling our streets, and I do want to say, you know, it's been a real pleasure working with our executive policy group through the storm, which includes all of the mayors of our municipalities and our school board superintendent. I really feel like Calcasieu is a shining example of what can happen when you work together and have total cooperation, and I think we're an example of what the rest of our state should look like. So I just want to reiterate to our citizens and our taxpayers that, hey, listen, we're going to do as a group what's ever best for our community, and I'm so proud and honored to be a part of that. And just know that we're working very hard to keep you safe and keep our community safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. And I'd like to point out, I didn't tell him I was doing this. Keith Waddell is now working with the Sheriff's Office, and of course he was Adjutant General with the Louisiana National Guard and in Laura and Delta and many other events. He was a great help, and we're glad you're here, glad you're still involved and able to help us, but we appreciate everything y'all done in your former role and your current one, so thank you. So I would advise anybody watching, we're at that point where we're kind of waiting for this storm to go through, wherever it actually hits, late tonight, early tomorrow, throughout the day tomorrow mainly. What we would ask the public to do, depending on where you live, check the websites of the various cities or the parish about when they're going to resume any trash collection, for example, or anything that you might need. It will differ depending on that municipality or the parish. All of them are posting on their social media sites and websites. So the questions will start, people will start going back to normal now and saying, when you're going to pick up my trash. So we realize that, but it's still time to make sure it goes through. However, due to the storm's landfall no longer being a direct threat here, to Calcasieu, this will be the last public briefing for the Tropical Storm Francine event, barring any unexpected changes. So if that happens, we'll certainly do it, but at this point, we are pleased to report that we think we can wrap this up. Again, if anything changes, we'll reach out and let everybody know, but until then, unless there are any questions, which we can take, I think this wraps up all of our speakers today. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Do you know if Matt Gaspar is here yet? Or if he came, or if he was on his way? Troop D, State Police.
I don't know. Wait, that might be him.
Okay. I think so, but I don't know. I've never. Yeah, I'll go grab one.
Congratulations. Oh, thank you, sir. Good to see you. Okay? Good. I got it under control. Oh, very good.
Excuse me. So sorry. Matt Gaspar. Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm with KPLC. It's the first time I've met you. Yes, I know Agnes is saying that she wanted to do something really quick just about traffic and what are the plans regarding that. Okay.